So there are a lot of people out there who think it's not possible to build muscle at home, but that is complete garbage. It's totally possible to get ripped without ever stepping foot in the gym, and I'm about to show you how. I've got the top exercises for you, as well as a home workout routine at the end of the video, which will help you build muscle quick. So make sure you stick around. It's time to make a change and get the body you want. Now, to start off, we'll be covering push exercises. So this includes exercises that will train your chest, shoulders, and triceps. Our first exercise is the push-up, which is the most effective and versatile exercise on push day. The first variant is the basic push-up, which will train your whole chest. Now, if you want to make this exercise more difficult, you can wear a backpack filled with books or filled water bottles, and this will add some resistance. Doing your push-ups with a wider grip will work your chest more, and doing it with a closer grip will give you bigger triceps. Now, if you find the basic push-up way too easy, you can also do something called a pseudo push-up, which involves slightly leaning forward during your push-ups. These will be 10 times more difficult and will give you crazy chest pumps. But make sure you don't lean too far forward, as you can easily injure your wrists. And while we're on the topic of wrists, I know that some of us experience wrist pain when doing push-ups, like me, so I suggest investing in some parallettes. These will make your arms straight and will reduce wrist pain significantly. But if you don't have the money, you can also just do push-ups on your knuckles. But if you want to invest in some parallettes, I'll link some in the description of this video so you can go and pick up some for yourself. The next push-up variation, which you cannot skip, is the decline push-up. Why? Because the upper chest is underdeveloped for most people, and building it will help you look more well-rounded and overall just more attractive. To do it, find a bed or other surface such as a chair, put your legs up and experiment with different grips and angles. And here's a quick tip to take your push-up game to the next level. Try doing many small reps at the end. This will give you a crazy pump and help you push yourself to absolute failure. Now, if you'd like to challenge yourself in another way, you can also do the archer push-up, which is a lot more difficult because you're using pretty much only one arm. This is also a great way to slowly transition to one-arm push-ups, which you can do once you become a lot stronger. Another exercise which I personally love is the explosive push-up, which is an amazing exercise. Not only will they help you build explosive power and strength, but it'll also improve your cardiovascular health, leading to a slimmer and fitter physique. And don't forget about dips, a great exercise which you can do at home between two objects in your house. Experiment with different angles to find the perfect variation for you. But remember, leaning forward will work your chest more, and keeping your body straighter will prioritize your arms. This exercise is fantastic for building upper body strength as well as prioritizing the lower chest, and then you can also transition to more complex calisthenics. On this push day, you can't forget about training your shoulders, and there are a bunch of ways to do this. Number 1, pike push-ups. These are quite difficult to do for beginners, and if you want to make them more difficult, you can raise your legs or put them against the wall. Pike push-ups are much harder than your standard push-up because your shoulders are doing most of the work, and this is something most of us are not used to. Now, to get the 3D shoulder look, we also need to do an exercise called lateral raises. These will give you wider shoulders and the Dorito physique, as I like to call it. I like to sometimes spam train this muscle, and you can achieve this with various objects in your house, such as your bag. Again, once you almost finish a set, do a bunch of smaller reps to completely exhaust your muscle. To train the rear delt to the back of your shoulder, you can perform rows, which will help you get the 3D shoulder look, and this will overall just round off your physique. Another muscle we have to hit on push day is the tricep, which actually makes up for 2/3 of your arm, so you need to train it. Like I mentioned previously, you can do diamond push-ups or dips, which will work your triceps amazingly. And you can also use your bag to do tricep extensions. Just make sure you really focus on that contraction, do it slowly and controlled. But anyways, that's it for push day. There are a bunch of other exercises which you can do, but these are my favorites, and doing them will definitely help you build a bigger chest, tricep and shoulders. Now we're moving on to pull day, where we're going to be training our biceps and our back, because we want to get that Dorito look. To accomplish this, we're going to be using our own body weight, which is known as calisthenics, and we're going to achieve this with the pull-up, which is the best exercise. I can't stress the pull-up enough because it's amazing for building that V taper as well as bigger lats. Now, the pull-ups are a very customizable exercise, like the push-up, so don't just stick to one variation. Change up the grip, the width, how you position your legs, as well as the tempo and the weight. You can perform pull-ups at a local park. If you have a park nearby, go do them there. But if not, you can also buy, a pull-up bar, which you can easily mount to your door. I'll link one in the description of this video. I personally like to do them outside because my house will literally collapse if I do them indoors because I have a very bad ceiling. So check the stability of your doors and ceiling just to make sure it doesn't collapse when doing these reps. If you can't do pull-ups yet, don't worry, there are 2 easier variants. There is the Australian pull-up and the jumping pull-up. Keep doing these on a regular basis and you'll slowly become stronger and stronger. But if you're doing well with your pull-ups, you can again add a backpack with weights, filled water bottles, or books. But if you want to challenge yourself further, you can get some gymnastics rings and train like the gymnast, who are jacked, by the way. Now, getting a wider back at home can be a little bit difficult, because we're limited limited with equipment, so you're gonna have to get quite creative. You can do rows on your table if it's quite low, or you can do them with items in your house. And to finish off our pull day, we can do bicep curls, which you should do slowly and controlled. To work the forearms, you can just rotate the grip and it should give you a pretty nice contraction on your forearms. Now, the next muscle group we will be covering is the lower body, or the legs to be more specific. Now, training legs at home can be quite difficult because, the leg is a pretty big muscle, especially the quadriceps, so it's much harder to overload and get good growth. Nonetheless, you can still work them out, and here are the best exercises. The first being the squat. The squat works pretty much everything, but doing them by themselves is quite easy. So to make it more difficult, slow down the tempo or do explosive jumping ones. If you have a heavy backpack, you can wear that to increase the resistance. Now, another exercise is the Bulgarian split squat, which is pretty much the same as a squat, except you're putting all your emphasis on one leg. This one is easier to overload because you can always just hold objects or dumbbells on either side of your torso. But if you want to challenge yourself further, you can also do the pistol squat, where you're using only one leg. Now, this one is hard to do for beginners, so there are a few variations which you can do to progress. One you can do next to a door or wall. Make sure to use as little assistance as possible. And the other one you can do with a box and slowly progress that way. Next, we need to hit the hamstrings, which is a pretty big part of your leg. And to do this, you can find, a spot in your house, such as a couch, where you can pin your heels down, then fall down with a straight body and go back up. I personally don't do this exercise because, I don't really have any spots in my house where I can pin my heels down. But for those who do, this is a great exercise because, the hamstrings are a very big part of your leg, so you need to train them. We also can't forget to train our glutes and calves. Glutes you can train using a couch, where you can put your shoulders, then keep your legs at a 90-degree angle and perform these hip thrusts. You can add weight to this exercise, but if you do it correctly, you should feel a burn. And to train calves, we need to find an elevated surface or maybe some stairs where we will perform one-legged calf raises. Don't expect this muscle to grow very fast because, this muscle is quite hard to train and it is also largely determined by genetics, so don't compare yourself to other people. But again, don't forget to train it because, you don't want to have chicken legs. Now, the last muscle area I want to cover today is the core and abdominals. Now, I'm not going to talk about a bunch of random ab exercise, but, there's a billion out there that you can do. But one exercise which you should be doing if you have a bar is the hanging leg raise. This exercise is great because, it prioritizes your lower abs, which are underdeveloped for most people. But if I'm being completely honest, most of your ab progression will come from your diet, so avoid filling your body with crap. If you don't have a bar, you can also perform lying leg raises and slowly build your core strength that way. Now that I've shown you some of the best exercises which you can do from home, you might be wondering, well, what kind of routine should I be doing? To help you out, in the description of this video, I have linked a document with some routines which you can be doing, and I hope it helps you out. Feel free to download it on your device and access it at any time. But anyways, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you found the information here useful. I want you to stay hardworking, committed, and keep working hard. Building a physique is a long-term process, so don't expect results overnight. It will take hard work, dedication, time, consistency, eating well, sleeping well, so don't expect things to be easy. Be sure to comment down below how you're going with your physique or by DMing me on Instagram. Be sure to also go subscribe to my weekly newsletter where I post self-improvement content, which I think will benefit you majorly. And don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and that's it for me today. Keep working hard.